plays. Like we're going to do one in Sag Harbor in the Hamptons at the end of the summer.
Boroughs one?
It's called Bonkers in the Boroughs.
It is so good.
Yeah, and you guys will come.
I want to work in London for 2 weeks.
I know.
I love that they're calling it a hiatus. That's a break, people. That's when you stop working. Only Joy Behar works.
Well, toodles, toots.
Are you going to miss me?
Yeah,
we are going to miss you.
Is it too needy to say that?
No, but we are. We are going to miss you.
Well, I will miss you too, and I will miss.
You can
Brian.
text us your jokes.
And I will always miss the audience. That's my thing. Have a great day, everyone. Take a little time to enjoy the view. I'll be back in 2 weeks.
We love it here. Here is the smell of fresh bread, good food at the table, where all the good happens. Because here is home.
Honey, where's the countertop?
I sent it out to the granite shop this morning to be replaced.
Wow.
The quickest turnaround in the business, the Granite Shop in Sedgwick.
We love it here. A familiar face behind the counter, where we pick up right where we left off, where all the good happens. Because here is home.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
This is ABC 7 News at Noon.
A child was severely injured in a lawn tractor accident yesterday. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Callie Warren. The Department of Justice has filed a lawsuit against Maine and 3 other states, and we'll talk with an Ellsworth City councilor who is sanctioned. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up, but first, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Happy Friday afternoon. We have a wind advisory just off to the south and west near Portland, and that will last until about Saturday at around 11 a.m. We also have gale warnings up. The one closest to the shoreline will last until about 11 a.m. for your Saturday, while farther down toward the south, the second gale warning lasting until about 8 p.m. as we head towards your Saturday. That's this one right there. But meanwhile, on land, we do have some rain showers that are developing with this area low pressure that's still right nearby, and that one will continue to bring us some rain showers as we do push forward in time. Meanwhile, as we do zoom things out, there is that next wave of rainfall. That's it right there, and that's going to be pushing into our neck of the woods later on this afternoon to parts of the evening, mainly along a line from Bangor on west. We'll see the best opportunities for any rainfall. So futurecast moving forward, it will start to push in. Notice it gets close to Bangor and areas to the west. It will start to clear out as we head towards Saturday morning, but we will hold on to the clouds as well. Some wind gusts getting up to around 15 miles per hour this afternoon. The best wind gusts will be later on this evening into tomorrow. Hourly forecasts moving forward, we have the clouds, opportunities for rain, temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up.
Thanks, Devin. A tragic scene in Kentucky last night when a child was severely injured in a lawn tractor accident. The Penobscot County Sheriff's Office says at around 6 p.m. the call came in for a report of an accident involving a lawn tractor and a young child on private property. Kentucky first responders and deputies from the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office responded to a residence on Stetson Road in Kentucky shortly after receiving that call. The Sheriff's Office says the child suffered critical injuries and was transported to Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center for treatment. No further information is being released at this time. 2 people were arrested this week in connection with drug trafficking out of Vinyl Haven. Maine drug agents say 2 people from Texas were pulled over in Thomaston Wednesday as part of an ongoing investigation. 22-year-old Mariah Grover and 27-year-old Jefferson Jazir Arias were arrested after agents say they found drugs in the car. That included 66 grams of cocaine, a pistol, and close to $10,000 in suspected drug proceeds. Both are now charged with drug trafficking. Officials say it was part of an investigation into drug trafficking between Vinyl Haven and Rockland by using the state ferry. The Department of Justice has filed a lawsuit against Maine and 3 other states. A statement says that the DOJ is challenging the state's policies denying unmarked license plates to federal agents. A statement from the department says that the lawsuits come after each state refused to rescind what it says are their, quote, unconstitutional policies in response to a prompt letter from the department explaining the policy's illegality, end quote. In the statement, Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says, quote, law enforcement officers risk their lives every day to keep Americans safe and must be able to carry out their duties effectively. By denying undercover license plates to DHS components, including ICE, while issuing them to their own state agencies, these governors are pursuing discriminatory and obstructionist policies against federal law enforcement, end quote. Secretary of State Shenna Bellows issued a statement regarding that DOJ lawsuit. In it, she said in part, quote, if the DOJ wants to sue us, we'll see them in court. We've beaten them in court before, and I'm confident we'll win here again. Secret police have no place in Maine. A divide inside Ellsworth City Hall is now spilling over into public view, and it could lead to more than 70% of the city council being recalled. Our Alex Schley tells us what's fueling the growing controversy and the questions now being raised about transparency, accountability, and public trust.
Tensions inside Ellsworth City Hall reached a boiling point earlier this spring after city employees reportedly came forward accusing Councilman Stephen O'Halloran of bullying and intimidating behavior. In accordance with the city charter, the city attorney and human resources director hired a third-party agency to investigate.
Only the accusers have been interviewed because the accused didn't know he was under a secret investigation.
From there, the city council was tasked with reviewing the investigation's findings during executive session, which is required under Maine's Freedom of Access Act, which seeks to protect employees' privacy and reputation.
We go to this executive session and they find out it's about me, and I said, hold on. If this is about me, I want it in a public session.
A public meeting to address the investigation was then scheduled for May 18th, during which residents made their opinions clear.
What is happening and has happened feels more like retaliation.
The council, however, voted 5-1 to censor O'Halloran for violating the Code of Ethics.
We decided that it was necessary and to protect the city and to protect these employees that we had to take this seriously and take a vote on it.
Meanwhile, O'Halloran was calling for the 176-page investigation to be made public.
Before I even read it, I want it in the public eye. Mr. and Mrs. Ellsworth paid for this. They should see this, even if it paints me in a bad light.
A subsequent special council meeting was scheduled for May 26th to discuss whether the investigation should be released. City council members say they were concerned that even with the employee names redacted, individuals could still be identified and subject to public scrutiny.
They're much more than their names. It kind of describes some of the duties that they were doing, which, small town. We have one person or two people in some of these positions, so they could be narrowed down pretty easily and still targeted.
The city council agreed to release a 4-page summary of the findings.
They refused to release this to the public. But in a consolation, they decided to take 4 pages and release it to the public. So this is what they paid for. And this is what was cherry-picked before the meeting ever happened and agreed to release to the public.
Since Tuesday's meeting, a group has emerged, calling for the recall of the 5 council members who voted to sanction O'Halloran. According to the city charter, the group has 30 days to collect signatures from 15% of registered voters. When ABC7 and Fox 22 reached out to confirm whether a recall petition had been filed, City Manager Charlie Pierce told our reporter that neither he nor anyone else at City Hall was available. We were then directed to the city's communications director, Amy Kennedy, who said in an email in part, quote, the city is not making anyone available. In Ellsworth, Alex Schley for ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
Coming up on ABC7 News at noon, we've got an update on the Iran war and more information on the Blue Origin explosion. Plus, a look at other state influences in our upcoming Maine elections. Stay with us.
People ask me all the time, are those commercials really true? Does Lowry & Associates really get all of those clients, all of those big settlements? Yes, we do. We really have gotten millions of dollars for Mainers hurt by commercial vehicles. And the insurance companies know when you call the twos, we're going to fight for you. And you know what else is true? I really am standing on top of this big truck.
Hurt by a big truck? Call the twos. We win for you.
This spring, invest in your nest with the County Federal Credit Union. Your home has grown in value, season after season. With the county's 1010 Home Equity Line of Credit, you can borrow up to your credit limit over 10 years, with interest-only payments over those 10 years, 10-10. And then you can stop and smell the roses, soak up the sun, and invest in your nest. The 1010 Home Equity Line of Credit, the County Federal Credit Union, countyfcu.org.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stairlifts has the solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stairlift, the world's leader in stairlifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn Stairlifts now for a free information kit and no obligation quote. Why risk falling when you can safely ride?
Our Acorn Stairlift is definitely more affordable than moving.
The Acorn Stairlift has a padded seat and backrest. Safety sensors stop the chair if there are obstacles. The seat swivels and locks so you don't twist your body. And the Acorn Stairlift folds away. It even runs during power outages.
I was really surprised at how little it cost.
Call 1-800-732-2971 right now for your free information kit or visit our website today. That's 1-800-732-2971.
Step inside. Sit back. Kick back. Make yourself comfy. Make yourself cozy. Make life simple by choosing Patriot Homes to build and customize your new modular home. From decks, kitchen, and baths, remodeling garages, roofing, and siding. Let us help you design, plan, and build your dream home today. At your door and at your service, Patriot Homes, Eastern Maine's premier home builder.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back. Oil prices are dipping as anticipation grows about a potential deal between the U.S. and Iran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Global energy prices have fluctuated repeatedly since the war began, driven by on-again, off-again negotiations between the Trump administration and Iranian regime. ABC's Christiane Cardero has the latest on the status of negotiations from Washington.
Today, expectations are building that the Strait of Hormuz will soon reopen. Global and U.S. oil prices are down roughly 1.7% each amid reports that American and Iranian negotiators are closing in on a short-term agreement. U.S. sources tell ABC News part of the agreement would reopen the Strait of Hormuz over a fragile 60-day window. In that time, sources say the U.S. would lift its naval blockade and Iran would loosen its grip in the strait. But neither the president nor the Iranian regime has signed off on the temporary deal, and its details are otherwise unclear.
What did Iran get for doing that? If it's simply the blockade is brought down, then that seems to be equitable. If it's also a relief of sanctions, of unfrozen of assets, if it's some kind of reparation that's called an investment fund, that's going to be a big win for Iran.
The president previously said lifting sanctions is a non-starter, but Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent didn't rule that out.
It is a multifaceted agreement, and nothing is going to be on the table until we see the Strait of Hormuz open and the Iranians agree that they have to turn over the highly enriched uranium and that they can't have a nuclear program.
Iran's state media insists a deal is not finalized and that the regime maintains its sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, plus the right to enrich uranium. The tentative agreement, according to U.S. sources, makes no mention of Iran's future nuclear capabilities. If agreed upon, the temporary truce, as described by U.S. sources, would essentially restore the status quo to before the war began. Negotiations about Iran's future nuclear capabilities would be extended for another 2 months. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Bondi arrived on Capitol Hill to answer questions over the Epstein files release. Bondi has been confronted previously on the Justice Department's handling of how the files were released, and while she has been defiant in her previous public testimony, it's unclear whether she will react the same, considering she doesn't lead the DOJ anymore. This time around, her testimony will be behind closed doors, and her interview will be transcribed, giving lawmakers data about the decisions prosecutors have made about investigating Epstein associates. A Blue Origin rocket exploded overnight at Cape Canaveral in Florida, rattling residents who witnessed and felt the fiery blast. Its shockwaves sent rippling through the air. ABC's Armando Garcia has more on what authorities are saying.
Overnight, a massive fireball lighting up the sky over Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. A Blue Origin rocket suffering a catastrophic failure on the launch pad. Blue Origin founder Jeff Bezos saying no one was on board and all personnel are safe. The company saying the 320-foot-tall New Glenn rocket suffered an anomaly during a static test of its engines. The fiery explosion seen from the air as a passenger jet was preparing to land in Orlando. The blast setting off a visible shockwave, the sound taking nearly a minute to reach the camera. Residents who witnessed it in disbelief.
This one was more of like a violent shake.
Bezos saying in a statement, "It's too early to know the root cause, but we're already working to find it. Very rough day, but we'll rebuild whatever needs rebuilding and get back to flying. It's worth it." The explosion coming just days after NASA announced a contract of hundreds of millions of dollars with the company to carry out missions to the moon. With the destruction of the vehicle and damage to the launch pad, future launches are uncertain.
The reports are that there's severe damage at the launch site. It's going to take them a long time to rebuild that site.
Elon Musk, the founder of Blue Origin competitor SpaceX, reacting to the blast, saying, "Most unfortunate, rockets are hard." SpaceX launching one of its own Falcon 9 rockets today from Cape Canaveral, several miles from the Blue Origin explosion. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman says NASA and partners will thoroughly investigate what caused this anomaly and assess the impacts on upcoming missions. Armando Garcia, ABC News, New York.
Well, here in Maine, an out-of-state super PAC has just spent more than $300,000 against a candidate in Maine's 2nd Congressional District Democratic primary. Our Doug Banks has those details.
An out-of-state super PAC recently spent more than $300,000 in Maine's 2nd Congressional District Democratic primary, specifically on media placement and production for candidate Matt Dunlap and against fellow candidate Joe Baldacci. Real Change PAC signed off on this spending on Wednesday with the Federal Election Commission through a company called Four Ponies Consulting. Real Change's address coincides with a Staples store in Fremont, Nebraska. The Four Ponies address is a UPS store in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. Accusations of them being tied to the Republican Party stem from similar spending in other states against Democratic candidates.
I think it demonstrates that the Republicans are worried that if I get the nomination, that I will be able to defeat Paul LePage. Even with their attacks, I think we'll handle it, and we'll just shrug them off and just keep moving.
This is a Trump-aligned group that is going to be spending money to help elect Matt Dunlap, which is the last thing any Democratic primary voters want is Donald Trump and MAGA coming in and trying to decide our primary.
How they're trying to influence the outcome or what their desired outcome is, I think is a little harder to determine. It could be because they're trying to influence the outcome because they would prefer to run against one candidate over another. But that's not always true.
This recent spending surge comes on the heels of Senator Baldacci's fellow 2nd District candidates speaking out against him, accepting money from the outside spending group Project 218. Matt Dunlap said in part of a statement, quote, "I do not want super PAC support in this primary. I'm calling on every group spending in this race to stop today. The people of Maine should decide this race, not billionaires, not outside groups."
I think voters will ultimately make the decision on who wins this race, but I'm not surprised that PACs are spending money in this race. Joe Baldacci has been endorsed by the DCCC. We've already seen him take super PAC money and be proud that he has it.
Doug Banks reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
After the break, a look at the history and residents of a massive Maine cemetery. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
Are your basement walls bowing, crumbling, or failing? Hi, I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basementy. Our stable walk wall system offers a patented, affordable, and permanent solution to save your foundation walls. It stabilizes, fills voids, and structurally repairs, leaving a new smooth surface. All the strength of new walls. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Be back in a bit. Try not to burn the house down.
Well, guess it's a good thing we got AAA.
Even if the sky is falling, AAA Home and Auto Insurance has you covered. AAA, we're always with you.
On the Road, broadcasting the news at 6, live from Bar Harbor, is brought to you by Disconnected Tattoo and Art Company in Ellsworth. Are you regretting a nightmare tattoo? Well, there is hope. Here, regrets are turned into works of art by professionals. Patriot Homes offers 100% custom-built modular homes. Bring your plans in, or let us help design your dream home. If you're a licensed technician and you want to work, look no further than Ray Plumbing and Heating. Call us today.
Lucha Libre is coming with luchadores direct from Mexico. Superstars you've seen on TV in AAA, CMLL, and WCW. Plus the new stars of the ring, Minis, Luchadoras, Technicos, and Rudos. Action and excitement from the biggest arenas in Mexico. Now coming to Bangor. Every ticket includes a meet and greet with the luchadores and much more. Cross Insurance Center, Bangor. Saturday, June 13th. Info at maskmania.com. Cards subject to change.
Do you know where they get their name? I'll tell you. You know, it's always interesting to learn where certain recipes get their names. Well, today we're going to take a look at an old Southern favorite known as hush puppies. These fried corn fritters came about as a way for soldiers to quiet down their dogs so the enemies wouldn't hear them. It seemed like their dogs loved these so much, they kept quiet. Hence the name. And these golden nuggets are so good, we think they'll keep your gang quiet and happy. We begin by combining some self-rising cornmeal, a finely chopped onion, some milk, and an egg. Once that's mixed, we carefully drop heaping spoonfuls of the batter into some hot oil and let them do their thing. A couple of test kitchen tips. Don't overcrowd the pan, and make sure you turn them often so they get golden all over. Once they are, put them on a plate lined with paper towel so it can absorb any extra oil. Is that easy or what? And not only are these good on their own, dipped in a little tartar sauce, they're a perfect go-along with just about anything from fried fish to grilled steak. They also make a super easy after-school snack. So no matter how you serve them, make sure you go online and get our recipe for hush puppies, because this recipe will not only keep everyone's stomachs quiet, it'll make them speechless. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we're looking for a fun way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Well, I know what I'm making as a side to go with dinner tonight. In other news, Mount Hope Cemetery is one of the nation's oldest garden cemeteries, and a walking tour hosted by the Bangor Historical Society helps to bring some of its residents back to life. Visitors can learn about everything from famous residents like Hannibal Hamlin to the history behind the graves of Civil War soldiers. Notable stops along the way include the tomb of lumber baron Samuel Vesey, who is the namesake of the nearby town, multiple war memorials and veteran tributes, as well as a deep dive into cemetery and headstone symbolism. Organizer Matt Bishop says the tour not only helps attendees to understand local history, but also to appreciate the cemetery as a recreation space to enjoy.
I think we're approaching close to 30 years of giving these historical tours, talking about the history of Bangor, talking about the residents and connecting it to today. It's a beautiful place for those that have passed and those that are still living.
For more information on the tours, visit BangorHistoricalSociety.org. And when we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
Falls are the #1 cause of injury to senior citizens. Acorn Stairlifts has the solution. Just don't fall. Sit, relax, ride with an Acorn Stairlift, the world's leader in stairlifts. Don't let limited mobility keep you from going up and down your stairs, even outside. Call Acorn